Hello folks, this is an update to my water barrel video. As you can see, there are some changes to the structure and I will move the camera and show you exactly what those are. When I started this channel, I noted that I was not an expert, but that I was trying to figure things out in the world of prepping, and that I was willing to share what I learned as I went along. And so this is a case of where I definitely have learned some things about water barrel storage. You don't store your barrels upright because when it comes time to rotate the water every 6 months, it's a pain in the butt getting the water out of a barrel that weighs 400 pounds. Second lesson I learned is don't store things on their side because all your fittings will leak. And so that's what this video is going to be, is kind of go over how I updated the fittings. So 1 second while I move the camera closer. Starting from the top down, I originally had this clear tube, was originally a gray tube. The problem with that was you couldn't see where the water level was in the gray tube as the barrel was filling up above the bung cap, and so that led to a bit of a mess. So I changed this out to a clear tube because that way I could see the water rising up in the tube and know when to shut the water off. The other thing you'll notice is I switched out this little section of gray pipe. Originally I was using a little 2-inch pipe here, and I've switched to a 4-inch section of pipe. The 2-inch pipe led to all different kinds of difficulty. As we pan down the water barrel stack, you'll also notice some differences here. Originally I had a 90-degree fitting here that kind of bent it straight down, and so these two valves were connected kind of with a straight tube here, and then my fill tube, empty tube, came off the side of that. Well, the problem was when you had the barrels full and you had a leak in this valve, those 90-degree turns really didn't let you get stuff apart. Where having these be a longer arc here, I can get my channel lock pliers in here, loosen this up, be able to pull this out, be able to pull out the valve and the pipe and get at all the various points where a leak may be existing that I need to fix. I really did not have any leaks with the clear plastic tubing. Most of my leaks were between the valves and the gray pipe, or between the gray pipe and the bung cap. The little bulkhead fittings, those have some very fine threads, and you think, hey, water's not going to leak out through that? Yeah, right. You have to wrap pipe sealant tape in and around that before you put that little booger in there. Otherwise, it's going to leak out through the threads. Again, I added a little 90-degree fitting here because I was concerned about the bend here, and I was thinking that's what was causing the leak on my bulkhead fitting. Nope. It was leaking through the threads, and as soon as I put some pipe sealant, thread sealant tape there, the leak went away. As I stated earlier, most of my leaks were between the bung cap and between my gray pipe sections or the valve. And I discovered why that was. I actually destroyed 4 bung caps and had to order 4 more. Originally, when I got my bung caps, I punched out the entire center circle here, the 3/4 inch hole, right? So it was all the way open. The problem with that is these pipe threads will just continue to pull the pipe all the way through the bung cap. Finger tight. You do not need a wrench to do it. It'll just yank its way all the way through, and then you'll end up getting leaks through there. There's no way to get around that. When I took them apart, they just absolutely destroyed the threads in here. So what I did to overcome that is, rather than punching out the entire 3/4 inch hole, all I did was take out this 1/2 inch bump. This left me a lip for the pipe to run up against on the back of the cap. The other thing that I did is I put a hose washer in there first, right? And so I smashed that down in there, and then I put my pipe in there. Now, some things about the pipe fittings. I got the pipe sealant tape from the hardware store, but I didn't put it on enough. I only went around 2 or 3 times. In reality, you need to go around 5 or 6, and you go around in a clockwise direction. Be thinking that this is your thread seal tape. You're not necessarily trying to tighten things up. You're trying to make sure that they're sealed, is about the best way I can describe it. So when you're putting the bung cap on, it has this rubber gasket here, so when you're putting that into your barrel, it's not going to leak, okay? Or at least in my case, it didn't. And then once you get that in using your bung wrench and you've got that tightened up, then you put the thread tape around the small pipe section put it in by hand until it will go in no further, and then I simply did a half turn with my channel lock wrench, right? And that was it. I didn't tighten it up any further, and I didn't have any leaks. On the side that went to the valve, again, I had to do 6 or 7 wraps of the thread sealant tape to make sure that nothing was going to come in. And then when you put this on, there's a lot of threads here, so it's not going to come off. What you have to think about is it sealed? If you over tighten this side or try to get it really tight, these threads are really sharp. They just cut right through that the thread sealant tape, and you will get leaks between the valve and this pipe. So one of the things I had to do, and the other thing is that by going to this longer section of pipe, notice I've got a place for the channel lock wrench to grip on it, and that way I could tighten the valve without driving the pipe into the bung cap. Because again, that was a problem with a smaller section of pipe. One other thing of note is when you're trying to fill up your water barrels. When I was filling from, my hose was coming in here, water's going up here, going up, and it's going up to this water barrel. This water barrel, when I was filling this one, because I'd already had this one full, I'd shut off all the valves so the water would just go up there. That is about 400 pounds of back pressure coming back here. And while my house pipes could handle it and my hose could handle it, the faucet in the bathroom did not like it when that barrel started to get all the way full. So this is one of those things where you may want to be hooking up from your outside hose spigot through your drinking water safe hose, or just have someone in the bathroom keeping an eye on it, because I blew out a couple of washer fittings in a faucet in the bathroom, which did not please my wife. So hopefully this video showed you some things not to do. Hopefully it makes you think and will help you out if you plan on setting up a water barrel system in the future, help you from creating puddles underneath them. If you have any suggestions or questions, please submit them in the comments section. As always, thank you for watching, and please subscribe.